thanks to the support as a channel member, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, all that nonsense that happened at the end of the transfer window did finally catch up with us. We just ran out of players and have kind of fallen off the pace a little bit in this title race that we were never really in. We're now 7 points behind River Plate, and we're about to play them away from home. If we've got any chance at all, we must win a basically unwinnable game. But the good news is, straight after that, all our transfers go through and we'll be flying from then on. So this is the league situation after 21 matches. As you can see, 7 points behind River Plate, 5 behind Boca Juniors. I think finishing third behind them with an unfinished squad is probably, actually, in the grand scheme of things, a remarkable overachievement. You can see we don't really have much in the way of money to spend because we've kind of already spent it. And form has just been very inconsistent. It's weird. We had such a solid, very consistent start to the season, and then we just started picking up a few injuries. We lost the goalkeeper, we lost our striker, we lost various combinations of midfielder, and although we've not lost loads of matches, we've also stopped winning them. And River Plate and Boca Juniors are just relentless, and all of which leads us to that. Also, the Copa Sudamericana, we only finished second in our group, but as speculated, that is enough to get into a knockout playoff. So we do have a knockout playoff against a cash machine who are down in mid-table in Brazil. So that's going to be a bit of a tough one. That might even be the second match in today's episode, depending on how River Plate goes. Because if we lose this match, then we are done as far as the title race goes. And I guess we need to focus in on South America and Europe again. But this is all the transfers we've got happening in just a week's time. We've got 3 defenders, 2 midfielders, 2 strikers coming in for a total outlay of 24 million. 11 million of it up front. And we have got Lucas Gonzalez leaving for 8 million. He's heading to Rosario Central, who are actually in this league and below us. He wanted to leave to join a bigger club. Niblets to him. As you can see, the vultures are circling for Jefferson Palazza as well. If we get 14-15 million pound offers in 3 weeks' time, after we've seen if Dante Cruz is any good, we might be tempted. But if he's still only 2 stars of current ability, then we need Palazzo at least until the end of the season if we're going to have a chance at anything. But I think long term, Cruz is probably the replacement for him anyway, and we probably do still need one more centre-back. And we certainly need to keep selling in order to keep the rebuild flowing, because there's certainly still, even with all those transfers set to go through, there are still areas of the squad that need strengthening. I think we need another goalkeeper. We certainly saw when Gonzalez was injured, it affected us massively, and Taborga will be good. He isn't yet. And we certainly need more depth in all of the defensive positions. And we don't know what striker is going to look like when all these changes go through. Gonzalez is leaving, Baratza and Hidalgo are arriving. Poor old Ramiro Herrera, if you look at the amount of injuries he's picked up this season, it is absolute madness. And he is just forever injured or recovering from injuries. And all of it means he's only had 1 start this season. It was in the cup. He did score twice just to prove that he is quite good. And even in his 1 substitute appearance in the league, he's got us an assist, but he's just not fit enough, often enough to get in the team. And I think we're probably going to look to loan him out, get him some game time somewhere, and go with Arietta and the 2 new boys for the rest of the season. We've also recalled Lichaba from his loan, because he's had a pretty successful loan out in the 2nd tier here in Argentina. So we've got him back in. He's not currently registered in the squad because he's a foreign player, but depending on how the wheel of dealing goes, we might be able to let Tia Clecchio go now if Palazzo stays, or I guess if Palazzo leaves. Whichever one of them ends up leaving, it's a foreign spot that opens up for Lichaba. So lots going on. Let's go play River Plate. This is the team we're sending there. We don't need to go and see the ground because we've already seen it. But we are going to have Gonzalez in goal, about for Flores, Godoy, Tiaclecchio and Carrera. Moran and Lepera in midfield. Definitely need a 3rd midfielder so we don't have to keep playing Moran. Mancinelli, Guilherme and Basualdo behind Gonzalez up front. It's Lucas Gonzalez's final game for the club. He goes off to go and join a team below us in the league before the next game takes place, and we actually bring in a backup player from River Plate. I wonder if he's in their team. Of course he's not. They don't need to play their backup players or their players who are leaving. He's not even on their bench. the striker who's coming in to join us. Shows how strong their strength in depth is. A guy who's potentially going to be our new starting striker, not even in their match day squad today. Whereas the guy we're bidding off because we think we can do better starts and then is going to go and leave to play for them, who are, 5 or 6 points below us in the league. None of it's ideal, boys and girls, and La Pera's just given the ball away, and this is opening us up to an early effort. I mean, I say early, it's midway through the first half, an early-ish effort for River Plate. And we are in that kind of frustrating position where we have done so well, but these two are relentless. But in order for us to now actually get any kind of reward for how well we've done, we've got to come here, pick up a win, and then still hope that River Plate drop points and we just become incredible. And I don't think any of that is likely to happen. So I suspect third place is the best we can hope for in the league. And then we just need to hope we do a little bit better in the League Cup this year. Obviously, we were pathetic in that last year, because then at the end of the season, you get that overall league table. And that's the one we need to finish in the top 5 of. So it's the combination of the league table and the league performance in the League Cup that all gets combined together. And top 5 of that get into the Copa Libertadores, which we obviously need to do. Although it is pointless doing that if we're still not going to be competitive in continental football. So that game against the Cash Machine that's coming up is super duper important as well. Because if we can't even make it into the knockout rounds proper of the second tier continental competition, with all our transfers having gone through at that point, then what's the point of getting into the big one? Because we've got no chance of winning it. And we might actually be either committing ourselves to a much longer term rebuild, which is hard to do when your best players are constantly taken away, as we've seen with Basualdo, as we're probably going to see with Palazzo this window, or we might have to look to move to a bigger club, either here in Argentina or Brazil, so that we can actually be competitive in continental football. I mean, we look like we're matching up against River Plate quite well, which again, when you consider that this is without our transfers having gone through, we've got 2 centre-backs we never intended to play at centre-back this season, and we've got a midfielder missing. So we're not doing too badly. We have now conceded a goal, though. So that, I suspect, we've shown no real attacking intent. I suspect conceding a goal is going to be the opening of the floodgates, because we're now going to have to go a little bit more attacking. And we're also going to make some changes. I'm taking off Gonzalez. I've had it with him. He's been too inconsistent for too long. Lupera is tiring as well, so we can bring on another one of our youngsters who we've pulled up out of the youth team and not really used a lot. Ricaldi comes in. Flores needs to come off as well. He's getting tired. Some of my retraining of player position seems to be working. So Nicolas Gomez, who was previously only a right back, is now an accomplished left back as well. Same with Inocencio Carrera. They're both now accomplished left backs. So we can do a little bit more at left back than we were able to do before. Basualdo's having a terrible game as well, by the way. He's on a 6.1. But when we've got players crumbling around him because they're so tired, we can't really take someone off just because he's our best player and having an off day, because we don't really have anyone who's any good who can come on and replace him, which is the constant problem we have with the squad that we've got here. I think that's offside. The linesman's got his flag up. I suspect that one's about to be disallowed, but yeah, I mean, like I say, the floodgates are open, the floodlights are on. And we're going to lose 3 or 4-0 now, because we're going to try and chase the game and try and scrape a point when we've just shown absolutely nothing in the attack up until this point. And it kind of opens us up to teams catching up with us from behind us. And if after the start we have this season, if we end up finishing in a similar position to the 6th place we finished in last year, having spent by that point like £30 million, I suspect the board might start to ask a few questions of, am I actually improving the team or not? Now, I would argue that if my transfers had gone through when I thought they were going to, we'd have had a much stronger team, and our solid start to the season would have continued even further, and we might actually be properly in a title race at this point. But they might disagree. I guess we'll see. But it's still 1-0. We've made all our substitutions. We're now going very attacking. They're in again. And I suspect this is goal number 2. It is. We may as well just go back to normal flavour of attacking now. There's no point going bonkers and losing 4 or 5-0. We'll just do a normal degree of attacking and maybe hope that we get a consolation goal. It'd be nice to see Arrieta grab a goal. I mean, Basualdo, Inter Milan should be cancelling his transfer. He has been rotten today. A 6.0 in arguably the biggest game of the season. He's offered absolutely nothing. How is he going to cope with European football? What a lazy little rascal. But that was the final game of this particular group of players, and also the final chance we had of actually being in a title race, because we're now so far behind. 10 points behind with 5 games to go. So we're not winning the league, which means we'll let the transfers come in, and then I'll meet you for the second leg of the Copa Sudamericana knockout game against the cash machine. Well, our transfers went through, and then a load more transfers went through. So just to very quickly introduce you to the new boys, this is Lucas Hidalgo. He's the one who joined from River Plate. We've not used him yet because he arrived with the flu. Lionel Contreras is 30, but plenty of experience playing in this league, and he's just slotted straight into the team as cover at centre-back and left-back. Gonzalo Castillo, 32, but he was a free transfer. A right winger who can also play centre-back, but he's only 5'8", so won't. Dante Cruz is 19, 6'5", and is the new starting centre-back for the next 10 years. And then we've also got Bruno Barraza, who is a 26-year-old Argentinian striker who scored on his debut, then got injured. Maximiliano Russo is going to give us cover all across the back four, but mainly at fullback because he's only 5'8". And then Ivan Lescano is a 19-year-old attacking midfielder who we're teaching to play defensive midfield. And then we've also signed a goalkeeper, Julian Nunez, 25 years old. And we've signed him because we've sold Guido Gonzalez to River Plate for £23 million after he broke his arm. So Taborga was back in the team, and we were left in a situation where we had to be without Gonzalez for another 6 or 7 weeks. He'd already only played about 10 games for us this season. Yes, he's 6'6", but he is 29. £23 million for him seemed absurd, especially when we were going to have to play Taborga anyway. So I thought I'd be clever. Signed Nunez, who is almost as good as him and only 25. The only problem I've got is he's ineligible to play for the rest of the season because he's already played for 2 other clubs. So he can't play for us this year because he's played for Boavista and 1 game for Racing Club. So we're trying to bring in a lone goalkeeper to cover for Taborga for the rest of the season, but Taborga is the man for the rest of this year. I just couldn't turn down 23 million, even knowing we weren't going to be able to use Nunez. We're a long-term project here. We're not going to win the Copa Libertadores this year, so we may as well build the team that can let us win it. And doing that transfer, plus also selling Tia Clecchio for 1.3 million. And a couple of others have gone out on loan, including Herrera, who's gone out to get game time. He's gone to play for Almagro in this league, so that's going to be excellent experience for him. But doing those transfers out means we should be able to bring some more players in. So this is the guy we're looking to bring in as our backup goalkeeper on loan until the end of the season. He is another foreign player, so our young South African striker is going to have to go out on loan again because there's not going to be room for him in the squad, even with Tia Clecchio leaving, I don't think. But we're trying to bring in even more defenders. So Fabian Fernandez, I think this is a guy my director of football is looking at. He'd be decent cover. I mean, he's nothing special. In fact, if he's foreign with no idea, he's got some Argentinian in him, he's fine. But the 2 I'm trying to bring in are Damian Salina, who would come in as another starting centre-back for us because Palazza's probably on his way. And also Matias Escobar, who's another one who can play anywhere across the back 4. And I'm also trying to bring in Agustin Rodriguez as a winger to play on either side, who looks very snazzy as well. But there might even be more money because German Oliveira, who we've never really used, he's played 13 substitute appearances, looks like he's going to River Plate for 5.75 million. He dug his heels in. Sorry, Boca Juniors. They're basically the same, aren't they? Dug his heels in, insisted he was going to leave. If I'd have known he was 6'3" a little earlier, I might have used him a little bit more. But he's going to be on his way as well. We're still trying to get rid of Hubner. The wheel of dealing continues. There's money. and we'll continue flowing the money around. On the pitch, everything's been going quite well since the new players came in. We've won 2 of our 3 league games. We're still 10 points behind River Plate, but we're also still in 3rd place, which is jolly nice. And we won the first leg away against the Cash Machine, so we just need to not lose this second leg now. And this is our new look team. It's Taborga in goal, a back 4 of Gomez, Cruz, Palazza and Herrera. That's an average centre-back height of about 13 feet, which is, well, I guess a combined, not an average. Imagine an average height of 13 feet. That would be my kind of defence. Godoy can now move back into midfield because we've got defenders again, so he's going to partner Rodriguez. And then it's Mancinelli, Guillem and Castillo, because Basualdo's injured. So Castillo, the new boy and new vice-captain, is going to start on the right-hand side of midfield. And then Baratza is now fit again after his little injury, having scored on his debut, and he will start up front. And I think he probably is our striker for the foreseeable. Both the Gonzalez brothers leaving in one go. Who knew? But let's just not mess this up. We're in the lead from the first leg, and our new boys, obviously we've got a lot of new players in the team, but they are looking good. And I don't know how many more games we're going to be able to do it, because there's so many offers for Palazza coming in that sooner or later we're just going to have to accept one because he's going to insist on it. But at the moment, I'm very much enjoying having the 2 big boys at centre-back, and certainly they create all kinds of problems with the attacking corners as well. Gomez training to play left-back, by the way, super useful. Mancinelli cuts it back to Guillem, and that should be that. It's 1-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. I think this tells me that if we can qualify for the Copa Libertadores, we're good enough to be competitive in it. We're playing against a good team from Brazil here. Knocking them out now will give me the confidence to feel like actually this squad could probably go on and win this 2nd-tier continental competition in South America. And if we can win this, who's to say we can't just go on and win the big one next year with another transfer window and a half of rebuild going on? That's the plan anyway. Let's obviously win this match first, then go on and win this tournament, then go and win the League Cup. If we can't win the league, let's win the League Cup, get ourselves into the Copa Libertadores, keep the transfers flowing, and it is starting to come together here at Cologne. Up the colon, boys and girls. We love it. And yeah, we're doing quite well. Let's not balls it up from here, eh? That would be nice. And it is us defending currently. And obviously we have got to remember, we have got the youngster Taborga in goal, who, I mean, it's not ideal the way he's been thrown into this team as many times as he has now. But, and I know some of you will probably be a little bit confused about letting a 6'6" goalkeeper go, especially to a title rival. But I think they're only going to use him as their backup, despite spending 23 million on him, which is bonkers in itself. And he's just been so, I mean, he's similar to what we've seen with Herrera. He's been so frequently injured. He was injured for the cup final, which is why Taborga made his debut in it. But then he's had the big injury at the start of the season that wrecked our form. And then he broke his arm again at the start of the transfer window. Or broke his arm. He didn't break it again, but he got injured again. And what use is a one-armed goalkeeper? Because that's what we've just got £23 million for. If the other guy had been able to play, then I really would have been a genius. But alas, not quite a genius, but I'm most of the way there. And obviously next season, we've got a perfectly adequate starting goalkeeper to come in and replace him for an absolute fraction of the price. And it allows us to continue improving the rest of the team, because we can go and get another 2 or 3 players with that money that we got for him, even though we're only on 30% retained transfer revenue, which is absurd. And at some point, something's got to give on that, surely. And there is Castillo scoring his first goal for us. 2-0 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate. Up the actual colon, boys and girls. Look at us go. We are a different team with these transfers compared to the team that played in the group stage of this competition. We laboured through that group stage. We look like, I mean, it's just such a pleasure having a solid back four, which we've just not had. Right, Baratza not playing well, so Arietta can come on for him. We don't want to forget that he exists just because we've got a shiny new toy. Trujillo can come on and play left back. The one problem we've got is we're only allowed to do 3 replacements in our Sudamericana squad. So we've signed 8 players now. Only 3 of them have been able to be registered for the squad for this competition. They're the 3 that you've seen involved: Cruz, Castillo, and Baratza. The rest of them are not able to be registered. I don't know if we'll be able to register more in the next round, assuming we get there, or if we just have to make do with the 3 replacements. But that might be the one thing that maybe stops us from winning everything. I say winning everything, winning this one second-tier competition. But, I mean, if we were Spurs, we'd call it winning everything. What a rascal. What a rascal. Okay, let's stop mocking Spurs just for a minute, because it is now 2-2 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate, and we are on the ropes just a smidgen. They've had 2 shots on target and scored them both, in a rather frustrating reminder that we do have a 19-year-old goalkeeper who's probably never going to be good enough in goal for us. And if they score again, we might get caught out by away goals again, like we were up in North America. I don't know if away goals are a thing, but obviously if they do get the 3rd on the night, that's more away goals than we scored. And yeah, I don't want to know. I think we should go and score again just to make sure I don't have to find out. Right, with so few of the new players registered, our bench is looking pretty sparse. So we'll just make a couple of changes to the wingers, because at least we know who they are. The majority of the rest of that bench are untried kids, and this isn't the time to get them into the first team, I don't think. Flores is probably going to be my starting right winger next year. He's been injured. They all get injured a lot. But Flores has just signed a new 4-year contract with Basualdo leaving. Oh, what a save from Taborga! Taborga might have just kept us in the competition. He's our long-term... he's our goalkeeper for the rest of this season, no matter what happens. Unless this 19-year-old we're bringing in on loan is awesome. Oh, for goodness sake, Taborga's a disgrace. Are we now behind on away goals? I don't know. There's no indication there that we are, which suggests there probably are not away goals in this. But either way, we were 4-1 up and we've thrown it away. And now we've lost our left-back. Oh, dear. Right, Godoy's going to have to go back. Carrera's going to have to go there. And then Cruz is going to have to go there. He's going to have to come back here. And we're going to go attack him. But I think we're about to get knocked out. After all that talk of winning this season, I think I still have an injured player on the pitch. Who? I mean, I haven't got any more substitutions. Maybe I have. I'm pretty sure. Apparently, I've got 1 sub left. Right, well, hold on then. I thought I'd made all my subs. But if that's the case, I mean, Miguel Portillo. He's 5'3" and not very good. Fair enough then. I'm very confident I made all my substitutions, but we're not down to 10 men. That's nice. Let's go attacking. Let's demand more. And let's have one of our boys grab us a late winner. Because I don't think we've got the oomph to go on and do extra time. It's very frustrating that Taborga's obviously not good enough in goal. Oh, what a goal from Arietta! And that's the goal that is going to get us into the knockout rounds proper, surely. Well, 2 new strikers have just arrived. But he's one of our own, and he's reminding me not to forget about him with a stunning free kick. It's 3-3 on the night, 5-4 on aggregate, and that should be that. Taborga did his best to get us knocked out, bless him, but we are through to the proper knockout rounds of the Copa Sudamericana. Now we can go on and win the thing. Goodness me, lovely, lovely, lovely. Obviously, we're not going to win the league. We are very much going to try and win that. And we are very much going to try and win the League Cup when we get to it as well. But that will all be stuff we find out in tomorrow's episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to this bunch of handsome rascals. They're the Patreon people. And thank you very much for watching.